Hello, my name is Cynthia Mesa. Today I'm going to talk to you about an important issue that is affecting millions of people in our society: people traffic. People traffic is not a thing of the past. Modern human traffickers make hundreds of millions of dollars in profit by forcing people into a refugee situation around the world. Traffickers lie, threats of violence, and use other tactics like taking passport away in order to force people to provide services against their will. According to the United Nations, human trafficking is the act of gathering, of moving, or keeping human beings by threats, force, coercion. If any person, whatever the gender, whatever the age, is brought somewhere against his or her will, or without full information about what he or she is getting into, it is already human trafficking. Human trafficking is the trade of humans, most commonly for the purposes of forced labor, sexual slavery, or commercial sexual exploitation for the trafficker or others. Human trafficking is the trade in people, especially in women and children, and doesn't not necessarily involve the movement of the person from one place to another. Trafficker has become such a problem in terms of geography, spread, and volume that the United Nations criminalized it under the Protocols of Transnational Organized Crime in 2000. However, the history of human trafficking shows how long it took for its very form to be recognized. At the moment, there are at very least 510 known trafficking flows all over the world. Human trafficking impacts people of all backgrounds and it is carried out for a variety of purposes such as trafficking children. It involves transportation, the recruitment or receipt of children for the purposes of the exploitation. The commercial sexual exploitation of children can take many forms, including forcing a child into prostitution or child pornography. Trafficking children may take many advantage of the parents' extreme poverty. Parents may sell children to traffickers in order to pay debts or gain income, or they may be decide harnessing the prospect of training a better life for their children. They may sell their children into labor, sex trafficking, or illegal adoption. Another type is sexual trafficking. It involves physical or sexual coercion, deception, abuse of power, of bondage incurred through forced debt. Trafficked women and children, for instance, are often promised work in the domestic or service industry, but instead are sometimes taken to brothels where they are required to undertake sex work. Other type that is very common is trafficking and organ trade. Trafficking in organ is a form of human trafficking. It takes different forms. In some cases, the victim is compelled into giving up an organ. In other cases, the victim agrees to sell an organ in exchange of money or goods, but is not paid or paid less. Finally, the victim may have the organ removed without the victim's knowledge. This time is a lucrative trade because in many countries the waiting lists for patients who need transplant are very long. People traffic is a complex issue, and it is necessary to know what is his history. Human trafficking began with the African slave trade, since the American and European continents were involved as buyers, and the different African groups were both agents of trade and middlemen. It is the first known international flow of human trafficking. After the cessation of the African slave trade, what slavery came into light. It means a white woman who worked against her will for prostitution. In the next 41 years, other forms of exploitation, such as organ harvesting and labor trafficking, grew in scope. Eventually, in 2000, the United Nations adopted the United Nations Protocol to prevent, suppress, and punish trafficking in persons, especially women and children. It was the first agreement that acknowledged modern day slavery. In recent years, people traffic is profitable and rather low risk. There is usually not enough time or personnel for governments to investigate each illegal transport group. Some governments have yet to criminalize any form of human trafficking, leaving 2 billion citizens virtually unprotected. Even worse, it is difficult enough to verify human trafficking rings that despite the range of nations involved, 15% had no conviction from 2010 to 2012, and 26% had less than 10 convictions per year, while the same percentage less than others had 10 to 15 convictions per year. Terms of God, there are several organizations against human trafficking. A great help to governments all over the world are local and international non-governmental organizations who actively assist government in combating human trafficking. A number of them were created exclusively to fight human trafficking, such as Call to Rescue, Polaris, and Anti-Slavery International. Other organizations that participate and cooperate against human trafficking are the Save the Children's, Child Hope, Women's Rights Worldwide, and Amnesty International. It could be in vain to talk about this topic so worried if we don't give a possible solution to reduce this. One solution to reduce trafficking in human beings is through the reporting of suspicion of human trafficking rings. In addition, create a campaign to raise awareness among all citizens and to protect against trafficking scams through responsible travel, self-defense, and caution, and any time of hiring or negotiation. It is important to take into account these tips to help to diminish this type of people trafficking. To conclude, this is a fairly strong subject, but one that is seen quite frequently. That is why it is important that we unite against these problems. Thanks for all. My name is Cynthia Mesa.